some TV, and I just want to talk about, is it time to start watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Because the first season, across the board, everybody panned this. They said it was horrible, it was garbage, the tie-ins weren't that good. It started getting a little bit better when they tried to tie into the
They
Marvel...
hyped it up a lot too
Yeah, they
beforehand.
did hype it a ton. But it started getting better when they tried to tie it in with like Captain America 2, and they did some pretty cool things. They brought back Agent Coulson, who's a lot of people's favorite. He's a fan favorite for the MCU. But they're doing a lot of really cool things now, and so I'm going to give some reasons why it might be time for us all to jump into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Number one, the reviews. Now, I'm a person who hasn't watched it because I just didn't think it would be worth it. But I've read that this second season, even the worst episode of the second season, is better than the best episode of the first season. So they have really upped their game. The production, the stories, the characters are really getting a lot better. So
And that's actually a really good sign for a show because like I can think of some of the best shows ever, TV series, like long run TV series, and a lot of them have really mediocre at best first seasons. It takes a little while for really expansive shows to really the writers to get into the groove of things. I think like Star Trek: The Next Generation, its first season, you don't see reruns of it very often because no one cares about it. There's good stuff there, but it's not great. It really starts picking up as the seasons go on, right? There's a lot of other shows like that.
yeah, well,
Um,
yeah, but like, all right,
but,
let's
but
keep
then
on.
there's a lot of shows that don't last that are just great the first season and they burn themselves out and then they just go nowhere.
That happens too. But so number two, the backstory, the tie-ins that they're actually doing now is going to be very, very important as the Marvel Universe continues. They're introducing the Inhumans already. Two of the characters who are Shield agents are going to be Inhumans. If you don't know who the Inhumans are, they are getting their own movie in about 3 years. So that's going to be a big part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They're more galactic. They're introducing groups like the Kree, saying what they did, how the Inhumans came about. We've all seen the Kree in the Guardians of the Galaxy. That's who Ronan the Accuser was. He was a Kree warlord. There's a lot of big things that have to do with the Infinity Gems and the Kree together. So they're giving you a lot of backstory when it comes with that. So it's going to be very, very interesting. Like they're introducing the Terrigen crystals, which I really think is
Terrigen crystals.
yeah, but it'll turn into the
Terrigen
Terrigen
crystals.
mist, and that's how they give the Inhumans their powers. And this is really going to start setting up what I see as their own version of the X-Men, because the Inhumans are pretty much mutants that have their powers awakened almost forcefully with the Terrigen mist. So when we come to events like Civil War, right now we don't have the X-Men as part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You don't really have all that many powered individuals in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but think about if the Inhumans, a new race of pretty much mutants, just suddenly pops up. That's a reason to go through and start wanting to register people. So it kind of gives a little more motivation for some of these stories, and that is some of the we're seeing unfold with, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So I think that's pretty cool too. And then
The
another
more I
thing
think about
is,
it though, just a slight tangent, think about Civil War. I It seems like it might be a bad move to even try and really push Civil War because you're gonna ruin a bunch of movies. Because people are not gonna. I don't think people are gonna like Iron Man after, but I guess maybe they've already used up Iron Man enough. But whatever,
that's
we'll see.
again, we don't know what they're going to do with the future.
Mm.
So I mean, it didn't ruin it for the comics. Iron Man's still a popular character. I don't
Yeah,
think
but they could just change. Well,
we're
we'll
going to
see.
have to wait and see because we don't know how they're going to do the Civil War. We don't know if it's really going to be what we think it is. I'm just speculating by saying
We don't
that,
know that's going to follow
you
the
know,
comic series or anything like
it's
that.
not. I can guarantee you it's not going to follow the comic series. I don't even know if we'll see Iron Man and Captain America split on two different sides. We don't know what's going to happen, I don't think, yet. So I don't want to speculate too much on that. I'm just saying that, hey, bringing in the Inhumans makes the Civil War sound more realistic if they are going to go registration act, if they are going to follow the comics a little more. Now, we know Spider-Man might make a cameo in there, and I think Black Panther's going to make a cameo in there. So we'll have to see what happens with that. But it's just going to be really interesting. And they're also starting to introduce bad guys. I believe Absorbing Man is showing up there, where you can absorb materials. That's one of Thor's big bad guys, I believe. So we're seeing other aspects of the MCU get introduced And I bet you we're going to see some of that with, you know, the Netflix Daredevil show and the Jessica Jones and the Defenders and all those guys. So I'm thinking that it's about time. They've ramped it up enough. I'm going to start jumping into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Try to maybe blaze through the first season, because that is on Netflix, and see if I can catch up some way. What about you, Brendan?
Well, I told you about the TV shows that first season are mediocre and then they pick up,
But you
right?
have to watch the first season to really get into the
Yeah,
second
but
season.
they don't. But if they're really going to pick up that much, it's going to be the third season that they pick up. Like
Okay,
that's
well,
third
Brendan doesn't
season when they're
watch
going to be good.
anything, by the way, so...
I do watch a lot of stuff. And actually a lot of the best shows I've seen lately, I don't watch it until it's in the third season. Then I go back and watch everything.
No, okay, okay. Fair enough, fair enough.
It's on Netflix, whatever. I can binge
But I kind
watch
of want to
or
start getting
whatever.
into it now, because when all the Marvel, and I bet you they're going to start doing tie-ins with the Avengers 2 and Ultron, and then we'll see some tie-ins next year with Captain America: Civil War and stuff. So I kind of want to start getting into the flow of things, you know, and just describe some things. So I don't know. What do you think? Have you seen the show? Are you up to date on it? Are you really excited about the way season 2 is going? Should I jump in? Should I just, you know, dive headfirst into the universe of Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? And why do they have to call it Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Why can't they just call it Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Because they need to put the Marvel name on all this stuff,
That's
Brian,
true.
so you
That's
know
true.
what they're talking about.
It's true. So hit us up. Let us know. Comments down below. Of course, at What's My Face on Twitter, Google Plus, and Facebook. Always good ways of getting a hold of us.